Yeah, Cowboys tonight, actually.
Yeah, they play the Cowboys tonight. Yeah. And then guess who's after that?
Who?
The 49ers. And then guess who's after that?
You talking about for the Seahawks?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Guess who's after that? Mahomes. Look, I'm just saying, like, you know, you look up, you look up, you're 6-3, and next thing you know, you're 6-9, and I believe there's a one kryptonite, maybe also Lamar, but there's a one kryptonite to our Lions, and you know what? If you're not there, you're not there. So I told you, right? You're a playoff. I just want to play the Seahawks. I don't care. I'll play anybody else. I want to play the Seahawks. You know, you guys are weird.
I feel you.
Man, let's get to it.
I feel you, man. Well, man, this is Dennis. I think you just heard us talk about where we're from, based on how much we were bringing up the Lions. So you know we're from Detroit, but this is the Unwarranted podcast. Today's topics are going to be a little bit versatile, but where do you think we should start at, man?
Well, let's get right into the book.
Okay. The Game of Life, Florence Scovel Shinn. It's a phenomenal read, by the way. Man, I've read this book so many times. It's so different from most books.
Man,
you know what I'm saying?
It's a life-changing book, honestly.
Like, I don't know. I don't think you could put this book in the self-help category. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like it's so much self-help, but it's also so spiritual.
Where would you put the Bible?
I don't have an answer for you.
Well, I'm just telling you where I would put this book. You know, obviously it's not a Bible. I'm not saying that.
Right.
But it's just as far as like the spiritual relevance to the book. You know, I would just put it in that kind of. It's a spiritual book.
Yeah.
You know, at the end of the day, it's mostly. It means really all affirmations.
Yeah. But you know what? I feel you. I feel you. I think this book. Since you brought up the Bible, I will take it there. I feel like if you have not read the Bible, I feel like this book is about the closest, simplest gateway to understanding how the Bible can impact your life. Would you agree?
So far that I've read, yeah. You know, I mean, there's other like Qurans and things that I intend to read one day just for educational purposes. But you know, I believe in God, clearly.
Yeah.
But yeah, Game of Life. It is a special book to me personally. I'll start there. The Game of Life. The book came to me right around the time that I was finding out that my son was being born. And not born, but my son was, cooking in the oven.
Yeah.
So, think about that. You come across that book at that time when my mind was, and I won't lie. I mean, I was kind of going through it, like, do honestly, like, kind of man I'm gonna be, kind of dad I'm gonna be. I'm gonna be able to handle the responsibilities and of course out the gate it's like I want them, because we're not, weren't married or anything, so I want to have my child, so and I prayed and even apologized to God. Okay, I know I'm not married,
right.
So I want my son to come out healthy,
right.
You know what I'm saying? I don't come out with an eye on the back of his head. You did this in sin, so so in that time zone, though, having the Game of Life come into my life was just it's game changing, man. Game changing. To this day, there's so many things from that book that just come out of my mouth every day, and just I end every prayer with what I learned in that book, which is in perfect ways under grace. In any affirmation, in any good thing that you say out of your mouth, using your tongue with come under grace in perfect ways. That right there, it's like it's like you're licking and sealing and sending it straight to God, like a priority order here.
Right. Yeah, man, I feel you. I remember when you actually sent this book to me, man. Like right after my pops died, like I remember looking at the you sent it to me via YouTube, like the YouTube audio book version. I remember when you sent it to me, I'm like, man, what is this? And I'm like, I see this lady on the cover, the game of life. It's got this like little like black noir sort of feel to like the cover. I'm like, I don't know where he's going with this, you know. But then after listening to it, going, whoa. Immediately dragged the red dot all the way back to the beginning and re-listened to it. And this was like long before it was like, you know, I'm driving the car listening to the audiobook. This was like straight up in the bed, looking up at the ceiling, like, yo, I think my life is about to change.
Man.
Yeah.
No, I do want, my mind had changed.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
The way I thought process, thinking. I mean, out the gate, I didn't know where to start, you know, with what it's like. Kind of, I don't know if you remember the first time you read Think and Grow Rich. It was kind of like that epiphany feeling, you know, like, hey, I could be me. You know what I'm saying? Like, like we all have that, you know, that self-doubt. I feel like, you know, that's just natural to environments because a child's not born with it. You know, I see a lot of things a child that's, you know, what they're not born with. Having my son, it's like, you know, a lot of that stuff gonna be environment and what you show them, what you teach them, what you know, you're letting through their ears, their mouth, you know. So, in their sight. It's crucial, man. It's crucial.
Yeah, no, I feel you, man. It sparks something inside of you.
No,
You
for
know what I'm
real.
saying? I think that's the best way to kind of put that. It sparks something inside of you. You know what I'm saying? Something you didn't even know was there.
No, seriously.
You know, like I do remember reading Think and Grow Rich for the first time because I also reread that one and then reread it again. Same way with the Game of Life.
Oh, you're a trooper.
You know, well, there's a part in the book. I think it was either Faith or Desire when it said, "Don't doubt the knowledge you read in this book until you go back through and reread it 3 times." You know what I'm saying? So when I saw that, and I already had the spark of like, oh, well, I'm a trooper. You know, I was a soldier. I'm like, go ahead, you know what I'm saying? Like if my dreams are reliant on me picking this book back up, you know what I'm saying? It's a no-brainer. You know what I'm saying? It's a no-brainer.
No, I read it a little too early.
Which one?
Think and Grow Rich. Think and Grow Rich. Now I did not go back to it. You know, from that, I mean, I've read it since, but I did not go back to it back then. I didn't do much out of it, but take the power is my mind. You know, it's like if I think it is here, you know, it's
Right.
But nah, he gave you, you know, the whole formula. But now I wonder though, did this guy, you know, possibly get to read some stuff from Shinn because of just some of the stuff that's in that book. You know, it really feels like it came from Florence Scovel Shinn. Which, you know, if you look her up, you know, that's like 1800s. You know.
Yeah, it says when you first listened to The Game of Life, it was published in 1925. I listened to the audio version from YouTube. Published in 1925. I think and Grow Rich was like 1928 or something like that. It was like right after the Great Depression. Like during the Great Depression. So early 1930s, late 1920s. But you will notice when reading it, based on how she puts together her points, you can kind of see a similar trend with the way a lot of other writers put their points together and in what format they use to put their points together. You know what I'm saying? Like I do feel you on that point. Often, especially too when you read the book, because I don't really want to bring up this guy, I wasn't going to, but Neville Goddard was another one that was similar to Florence Scovel Shinn. It says that her
he jocked her flow.
He jocked her flow.
He jocked her flow.
You know,
you gotta think back then, women obviously.
You
know, I mean, they're fighting for things to this day. So, you know, trust me, I'm sure they were discrediting, you know, Florence Scovel Shinn back then. I mean, if you type in Game of Life on Google, it's not even the first thing that comes up.
No.
Yeah, that's crazy.
You had a Des Salome from French, the French writer who was like changing her name to a man's name to publish her books. You know what I'm saying? It's like that's
how far they had to.
I
mean, Florence Scovel Shinn, does that sound like a woman?
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest with you. When you sent it to me, and after I read it, I was like, I don't know what she is. Is she human? Is she not human? You know what I'm saying? Like, no.
Well, she called herself a truth teller.
And it's accurate.
Very.
And you wanna know what gives it the feel? I feel like that this book gives it the feel. Like what gives it the feel? It's the constant references back to the Bible. Like it's the constant, like I said this point, and then so Jesus Christ also said, "Ye shall not have your faith." You know what I'm saying? And you're like listening to it. Like, this is 25. It's 2021 when we read it the first time.
Yeah.
2021, and you're sitting there flabbergasted.
No, seriously, because of just what you just read.
Yeah.
And obviously you have to have some form of spiritual nature to yourself to even like take it in. And I like it's not a book that you really go looking for, but it's a book that comes to you when it's time. Because how I found it.
Yeah.
Compound effect. Watching it, YouTube had a suggestion under it, a book called The Game of Life.
Yeah.
And it wasn't too long. I was like, I'll just give it a little listen.
Yeah.
The first 5 minutes had me so into it.
Yeah.
It just took over. And who knows how many times I listened to it that week. Because I was.
Man.
I was
writing. You want to say it or should I?
Man, I was writing down those affirmations, but
Right.
say what?
Man, read how many times you listened to it and then just ran it back. How many times throughout the you're driving, like I don't know what to listen to, I'm just turning it on.
Man.
And then you got to the end of it and then you ran it back. In the same month that you had just heard. I'm telling you, man, like, I wouldn't put it past that I read this book. I don't want to say 1,000 times, but 500, I feel like it's too low.
I'll say
There was a point where I was reading everything.
the book is what, 4 hours?
2 hours and some change.
2?
Yeah, it's like
Yeah, it's 2. It's 2 and change. I've listened to it at least 300-400 hours of that book.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I don't know how many listens that was, but
But you can also see the impact on it.
yeah. Well, yeah, because I'm only re-listening because I'm okay. I got that part down. I'm finishing my prayer right. I'm speaking to God better.
Yeah.
But there was something else that I was supposed to get. Now you go back. It's funny to this day when I re-listen. It's like I still hear something new.
Yeah.
Like new, something that I could probably, honestly, like if it was just playing right now, I could say the words as it comes out on point just because of how many times I've listened to this book.
Yeah.
But, man, it's an awesome book, man.
Yeah, no, man, I feel you. We could talk about any point of this book before we just keep edifying it. It's so worth the edifying. It's such a
I might just say you can make that word up. It's such an edificical.
No, but seriously, like it definitely is a great book. I feel like something that it taught me was that like life is like a mirror.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Life is like a mirror. Like when you see people as you're going throughout your day, as you're living your life, like you start to realize that everything is a mirror as to how you are on the inside.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like how you truly not just think about yourself, but think about the situations in your life, think about the people in your life. Like you start to realize like everything comes back to you the way you're internalizing everything.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Man, think back to when that book first came to you, right?
Yeah.
And this is one of the things she put in the book. Resistance is hell, for it places man in a state of torment.
Yeah.
I don't know about you, but I remember there was a time where Manny, Manny has he does like these slogans when you call him. So depending on what phase of his life he's in, he'll kind of hit you with, what he's doing. So right now, if you call Manny, he's like, hey, taking it slow. There was another phase, he used to call Manny, and he'd be like, I'm being non-resistant.
Yeah.
Because of how important that was at that time.
Yeah.
Like me at the time, with Harris, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Having that, my landlord, we always butting heads and, he's a successful guy, and I was reading the book and it was just saying like, the person that you're being most resistant to is probably the person that you should open your arms to and hear out. And at the time I was like, man, I almost said like I was like in an emotional, like I hate this guy, and it was like, man, that's not a feeling or energy I should have whatsoever.
Yeah.
Man, called him up, had a nice long conversation, I asked him to be my mentor, led to Landmark.
Yeah.
Come on, man, like
Yo.
Like just having the ability to put away my pride, stop being resistant to this person, resistant to this situation, and look at the fact that maybe God's trying to put this person in my life to further me. And I can honestly say that's exactly what happened. Man.
You have no idea. And you saying that, like, some people just came on my currently. And I'm like, man, I was saying, like, obviously, you know, now it's like I send love and blessings and all those things. There's still a piece of you that's like, I don't want that person near me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I still love and blessings, but like, I don't want that person near me. There's people that just came to mind that after you said that, man, it was almost kind of like an aha moment.
Yeah.
A little bit. You know what I'm saying? One aha moment, because what you said was fantastic. I know exactly about that story. But also, too, I remember that time having to say, well, I'm being non-resistant because of everything that was going on in my life. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I do feel you right. And that was a great point. I feel like that was from the law of karma.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. I didn't bookmark the chapters I read them from.
Yeah.
But man, let me give you another one.
Yeah.
Let me tell y'all, this lady was cooking. She was cooking stuff that I don't know how she was cooking this back then.
Yeah.
Now you love this one, and we can divulge into it a little bit. But active faith is the bridge over which a man passes to his promised land. What does that mean to you?
Wow. Active faith is the bridge that man uses to cross to his promised land. It means a lot. But I feel like it really means being able to. It's just, I feel like it's said what it is.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, man. You know, I really feel like it's life, right?
Yeah.
So this is what I mean by that. I was thinking about this in the car, and I'm like, it's like everybody has a different purpose, but we all have the same purpose. And the purpose is to walk your bridge.
Yeah.
Your bridge. Yeah. Like, it don't matter what is on anybody else's bridge. It don't matter what the bridge right next to you has got going on. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It might be a gold bridge with white ponies all around. Yeah. You have to walk your bridge. Yeah. Right? And that's what I mean. It's like we all really have the same purpose. And it's to figure out how to, and she spoke on this, is to figure out how to get back to the divine design. Yeah. Which is God created us in his perfect image. Yeah. Right? Yeah. So, and I've told you this, you know, like sometimes, you know, I look at how things in my life are going, I'm like, man, I feel like I'm catching up to the timing God wants me on. Yeah. You know? Yeah. Like I'm getting better, and it's like I'm starting to get where it's like, man, he probably wanted me here a little bit ago, but yeah. Hey, you know what I'm saying? We take it how we got it, you know what I'm saying? Right. Like, hey, yeah. No time like the present to, like, you know, be better, live better, do better. Yeah. You know?
That's what they say, man. You know, tomorrow's a mystery, yesterday was history, and today's a gift. And that's why I call it the present. But you spoke on something I thought was very heavy when you said divine design. You know, I thought that was really heavy because I feel like a lot of times in life when you speak on active faith being the bridge that people can cross to their promised land, you bring up promised land, you bring up divine design. I feel like everybody has an image in their mind as to what their life is supposed to be. You know what I'm saying? That they can think about without trying. Like if I just thought about, oh man, like what do I want? You know what I'm saying? Away from what everybody else wants for me. Yeah. What do I want? You know what I'm saying? That image comes to mind. I feel like a lot of times people go, that's too good to be true. I can't have that. But something Florence Scovel Shinn talks about is that's exactly what's meant for you.
Yeah. Exactly what's meant for you, right?
Yeah. But you need active faith
to get there.
In order to get there.
And it's you can have active faith, but don't stray from your bridge. Yeah. Now I could be faithful and foolishly think, man, because now I was bringing out that other part of the book where there's a couple stories in there that related to this. Yeah. So, you remember the story with the young lady where she went out of town.
Oh man, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
She went somewhere. What was it like? She went somewhere where they didn't speak the. She didn't speak the language.
Yep.
So she prayed to God.
Yep.
To guide her while she was there.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
And the trip went perfect. Imagine that, right?
Yeah.
Trip goes perfect.
Better than she
She
thought.
comes home. Does not ask God to guide her at home. What happens? Her money and everything fell out of order.
Yeah.
Now, doesn't that
Fell
seem?
apart.
Does that seem a little extreme? Like, hey, I wasn't asking you for guidance before. But see, you became more spiritually aware,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
That's how God's looking at it.
Yeah.
Like, don't just look for my guidance here. Don't just
Yeah.
look for my guidance when it's convenient.
Yeah.
Come on. And you used it for something so minuscule, which was a great lesson.
Yeah.
That God can help you with the smallest of things.
Yeah.
You don't have to just come to Him for the big bad thing that just happened in your life. You know,
Yeah.
you can come to God for the God. I just need to make it to work on time. I hope all these lights go green.
Right.
You
right,
know,
right, yeah.
like,
But isn't that a metaphor though? For most people's lives, you
man,
get into a little bind, a little fender bender, and it's like, I'm gonna call on God now for this.
come on.
But I even hate to even say that because I'm not the most spiritual person. You know what I'm saying? But I'm definitely working on it.
Yeah,
But you notice how it's like, oh, this something small happened, this happened, and God guided you through the full situation, and then the second you get back to home or metaphor of your life,
yeah.
it's like, I'm gonna go back to doing. I got it from here.
Like, how
You know what I'm
fast you
saying?
do that, right?
Yeah.
Come
To
on.
a week, 2-3 weeks.
And that's my point. That's you straying from your bridge,
Yeah.
right? Your faith is still there.
Right.
You still, if someone walked up to you like, hey, tell me about God, you can tell them all about it.
Mm-hmm.
Your faith is real, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you went back and said, nah, I'm good. I don't need to walk that bridge. I could, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I can handle this. There was there was a story right before that one.
Yeah.
The young man in the test,
Yeah.
you know, he wasn't good with one area, you know, of his testing. Prayed over it. Did excellent on it. Then what happens? Had full faith in himself. And she said something right there. It was like, man, she was like, man, basically, men start to slip up once they start just believing in themselves.
Yeah.
That I'm doing this.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That you think that you really think that everything is happening to you because of what you are doing, when that's only a piece of the pie. Like, you
Right.
still have to put the time in. But there's a lot of people who put time in. There's a lot of people who put in the same effort, if not more, in certain scenarios, but you got it.
Yeah.
And you think that was just you. That's insane. That's crazy. That's the kid would say.
Nah, I feel you, man. Man, it's because a lot of gems in it.
Man, it don't stop.
It has a lot of
It
gems
don't
in
stop.
I feel like I was off from like the first 3 chapters.
Man,
You know what I'm saying?
I just be
Like,
jotting. You know, the thing is, I honestly, like, I might start the book in the beginning, listen about 10 minutes,
Yeah.
and just jump to like the middle of the book.
No, but you
And just
do
let
that
it go.
though.
Oh yeah,
'Cause
you
it all
don't.
lines up.
You don't even gotta hear what's going on. It just take off from wherever I stopped this at. You know,
Yeah.
And it's probably something hard.
Yeah.
But no, tell me though. Before we go even deeper, what is probably one of your favorite quotes, affirmations, whatever, out of that book? Just give me one of your favorites. Man, just give me one of your favorites.
That's so wrong. That's so wrong.
No, just give me one of your favorites.
That's so wrong.
Cause I got one too. I got one too.
You know I got one for you. We might have the same one. Yeah, we might have the same one.
Yeah, if it's that one.
Yeah, it's that one. Yeah, it's that one. Yeah, it's that one. It's that one about darkness. Yeah, that's why would you? Yeah. You know, how long must I'll let you finish it and I'll ask it because you already know the quote,
Okay.
but how long must one be in the dark?
What is it? Until one learns to see in the dark.
Yes.
What's
One does not learn to see in the dark until
one learns to cast the burden.
yeah. Yeah.
You know, I didn't hear that second part until like the 10th time I read the book.
It was 10 time for you. It was a minute for me.
Man, I was like, I would say hallelujah. You know what I'm saying? I was like, you know, that part, you know, I kind of wait for the part to come up, you know. You know, she'll say it. I'll be like, thank you, Jesus. You know what I'm saying? And then like one day, you know, I was just listening and, you know, I didn't hallelujah nothing that time. And I caught this second part.
Yeah.
It's like, when you cast the burden. And for people who don't understand, casting the burden is not carrying the weight of the problems that you have.
Yeah.
Of learning how to, in prayer, in thought, and with your tongue, constantly cast that burden to God because it was never yours in the first place.
Yeah.
And that was one of the biggest lessons. I mean, this obviously are both our favorite quotes. You know, for that reason, because when you really understand that, you live life so differently.
Facts.
So differently. You don't carry any weight that is going to make you feel. I mean, I probably say I'll never be depressed because after learning that and really implying it, like, you know, putting it in my life day by day now, 2-3 years later, it's really how I move.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not fazed by some of them. I used to have real bad road rage.
Yeah.
Real bad. I mean, somebody, you know what I'm saying, mess with me, man, it's like a damn Gatorade through the, man, don't let your window be down. I might beam you with a Gatorade, open bottle, you know what I'm saying? Like, pull over, what's good? Like, you know what I'm saying? But now, when I cast that burden, I don't carry that anger. I don't carry hate towards a person. You know what I'm saying? It's easy to be non-resistant when you're not carrying a burden.
Yeah.
It's easy to be open-minded when you're not carrying that burden.
Yeah.
It's easy to pay your bills with a smile.
Yeah.
Because you're not carrying the burden of the bills.
Yeah.
You know? So you're allowing God now to really get in your life.
Yeah.
Because you're mentally unclogged now.
Facts. Facts. And if you didn't think that this book also touches on money, it also touches on money. Because when you just said what you said there before, and casting that burden is easier to pay bills, she also talked about the importance of why you should pay your bills with glad tidings.
Man.
You know what I'm saying?
It's in the Bible.
You know?
Everything she talked about.
Really, no, but don't care. But you notice it because a lot of people in life, savings have become such a big word.
Mm-hmm.
I want to save. I want to save money. It's one thing if you're saving money for an investment, or you're saving money to make a move.
Mm-hmm.
Some people, a lot of people save just to save.
Yeah.
And let me tell you how much I got in my savings.
Man, what they be saving for, man?
Man, you know, I would say the biggest thing is probably rainy days. That's like the biggest thing, right? I'm saving for a rainy day. But she talks about it in the book, right? A specific woman who had a husband. Husband was sick, but she had money. And she was like, I'm not spending a dime to do nothing. I'm gonna go to work still, make more money to put away, just to put away.
Yep.
Husband ends up dying. She ended up getting robbed. Lost all the money.
It's all of it.
Can you imagine?
All of it.
Can you imagine?
Man.
Somebody else, another story. Another story. The Thanksgiving. Literally, Thanksgiving just passed. You know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna save this money. Her family had nothing to eat for Thanksgiving. A woman's family had nothing to eat for Thanksgiving.
Because she said they couldn't afford it.
But she had the money in her bedroom, in a savings, and she just kept working, kept staying that same mindset. She also got
robbed. And not everybody got robbed. It's another story, I can't remember exactly. Yeah. But they basically had a financial loss of the exact amount that they had.
And then here's the flip of that story. Another guy, you know, is doing decent as a salesman. Doing decent as a salesman. Only had like $500 in the savings. He goes to the mall with his wife. I don't want to say a mall, so he didn't have that. He goes to a clothing store with his wife. He sees a coat. Yeah. He sees a coat. He's like, "Yo, we gotta get this coat, but it's gonna cost everything we got in our savings." Bought the coat, made more money in sales because of the way he felt about himself than he, made more money he had in the savings account.
Man.
So
and mind you, that was all his money.
All his money.
Like it was an investment. And his wife was there. Let's remember that.
Yeah.
And told her, like, if I get this coat, I'm gonna start winning.
Yeah.
Like, he told her, you got a highlight. They went around shopping.
Yeah.
Like, that was like the first place they walked in. You know what I'm saying? Like, he said that they all look too cheap. You know what I'm saying? Probably trying to save money while looking, you know.
Yeah.
But got to this one, like, man, it's exactly, like, damn, it's a whole 05.
Yeah.
You know, I'm sure you've been there. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, man, like, do I? But think about who you are now. Man, you wouldn't even hesitate. If that's if that was the intuitive thought you got, that this coat will change everything.
Yeah.
Man, you wouldn't second guess it. Yeah. All right, I get to work immediately.
Yeah.
I need to get some money back, but I'm about to get to work.
Yeah.
I'm getting this coat.
No, I feel you. And you start to notice that as a trend when you listen to the book, even though it doesn't touch on money, it has so many different money points because she connects money to active faith. Mm-hmm. You notice how many people, she was not a woman that was after material things. Like Florence Scovel Shinn was not a woman that was after material things, money at all. However, if you came to her and was like, all I got is a penny, $1 or $10, and I don't know what to do in life, she would not be upset with you giving her that $10 just for you to understand the point of active faith. Mm-hmm. And you notice every person that came and had that scenario, like, all I got is a penny to my name, $1 to my name, here you go, just give me some advice, a piece of advice, something. She would always say, I never looked at this person as being broke. Mm-hmm. I looked at them in divine mind.
In abundance.
So like, think about that perspective she had. And all those people would come back literally a year, 2 years, 3 years later with some grand story of how that after they got done talking to her, a train ride led to a businessman, led to a business venture, led to abundance.
How many?
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you can kind of see it in your own life though. Whenever you were down to like nothing and you had to just give something, whatever you had, you notice how like that bread just got a little bit longer.
Yeah.
Just led you on this path to like, oh, okay, now there's some newfound abundance over here. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, look at us. We're sitting in here. This is an active faith.
Yeah.
Active faith. I mean, this is, the legit episode 1. I think we got like 13 some subscribers.
Yeah.
This is active faith.
Episode. Tell me that last one was pretty.
I mean, I call it extended rough.
Yeah.
But this is the first episode y'all will see. The full episode.
Yeah. but you can see it, you know what? A personal example.
Yeah.
Of that. And you remember this time. Mm-hmm. You remember this time. Literally right after a car accident. Mm-hmm. Right after a car accident. And it's like, hey man, bills are due, got rent to pay. You know what I'm saying? Bills are behind. You know what I'm saying? All because of the car accident, I couldn't afford anything. I was down on my last. Like literally, like nothing but like, hey, I could, let you use this account to make like, you know what I'm saying? To make what you need and let me get my cut from it. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But through that you saw there was no worry. Obviously this was way after me. Mm-hmm. There was no worry. They never saw me and it was like, man, this guy looks like he's down bad. You know what I'm saying? It was like, hey, today's a great day. I'm being non-resistant. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Where you headed? I'm about to go make a movie. Let's go into the library. I'm about to go work on this movie. I linked up with the producer around that same time. Hey, I'm about to work on this movie.
Man, I remember.
Right? And literally, we got to a point where it was like, the bills are like, all right now, like there's no more pushing back. Faith has run its course. You know what I'm saying?
For real.
And literally the same landlord, just speaking of, called me randomly. I was like, hey man, like how are things going with this and that, and how is things looking? Like, you know what I'm saying? You think you're gonna have rent? And I'm gonna have it for sure. I'm just waiting to kind of get this, vehicle, and then and his response was, well, what does it take for me to get your vehicle? I don't know, man. If you know anybody that knows, okay, I'll make some calls. All right.
It got real quick.
Called you up right after that. Hey man, I don't know what that conversation just was, but like he's gonna do something. I'm not really sure what he said, but I might be. I don't know. Next day it was a call. Hey, I got a friend, got like an O2 Sports, you know what I'm saying? It was like a O2 Honda Sports something, you know what I'm saying? I'll see if they'll let you use this. All right, yeah, sure. Yeah, that was just my response to everything he said was sure. Like, I couldn't say yes or no, it was all right, sure. And then after that, the next day it was a call. Yeah, that didn't fall through, but like, I'm gonna get you a vehicle from a dealership and we'll have everything done by Friday. Sure. Thursday, it was like a FaceTime call. I was at the library, he was like, all right, yeah, so, we're looking like, I just need these things from you.
Mm-hmm.
Sure. Hey, man, that night is like, hey, man, so just be up tomorrow at 11. I'm going to pick you up. We're going to the dealership. Got a brand new car. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And there was no, like, I'm about to force this move out. Like, you remember that time? It was like, yeah, I guess I'm ready. Do something. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I guess we'll do something, but you notice that though is the lessons from this book. Because you remember what it was like just 1 year previous to that.
Man.
Car accident, the Lexus. When the Lexus got totaled, like, think about that from your perspective. Let me ask you what you saw from your perspective, being around at that time, from the Lexus being totaled, first time, not having the vehicle, was my response. And then a year after that, truck totaled. Or not total, but couldn't use it.
Yeah. Oh man, that's
without being graphic.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that. I was like, hey, he kind of threw that question in there. I wasn't on our docket, and I didn't know if he wanted me to really say just outside looking in. Obviously, it was a big difference because the first time was more so like that, why me? And the second time was just the second time.
Yeah.
It was, okay.
Yeah.
There's no big anything because guess what? We cast those burdens. We're not emotionless people. I might yell, I might scream, I might cry, but when I'm done, I'm done.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've already accepted in life it's going to go one way or the other way.
Right.
Hey, when your car is running, guess what? One day it won't. Or you'll sell it off and it'll stop on somebody else because they're not forever.
Yeah.
Just like any of this.
Yeah. Thanks.
You just move on, man.
Yeah.
And that's what you did that second time, for sure.
So just say, quick takeaways from the book.
Quick
Aside from the
takeaways.
ones you just did.
Real quick, I'll give y'all a really good affirmation for that abundance in your
You
life.
stole this from me because I was going to wrap the segment up with it.
Well, what?
Go ahead, say
Just
Say it.
I know. I had a couple of them written down. I don't know which one you're gonna go with, but every man is a golden link in his chain of my good. So with that one, it's saying that every man in your environment, and not just man. We say man because that's how she wrote it, and obviously back then it's prayers. But everyone around you, when you say that, you are signifying that anyone that you come in contact with, anyone that come in contact with you, is a golden link, not a rusty, dirty. It's a golden link to your good that can come into your life. So that's a very crucial one. I'll give you one more. Look with wonder at which is before you.
It's a great one.
Open your eyes and stop putting limiting factors on what is going on around you and what is before you. Stop limiting what is in front of your eyes. What we are sitting in right now. I didn't know this place existed, but guess what? I'll do a catering order for free because, they did donate to me at the end, obviously, but I offer it for free because, we're starting out, we're new, we're just trying to do good, receive good. She says in the book, you have to open up giving to start receiving.
Yeah. So many people are poor receivers.
Well, because they're poor givers.
Yeah.
Or you could be a good giver but poor receiver, but that just, you're messing up your blessings because you're now denying blessings from God. That's what you're not thinking about. Like, God sent me to give this to you. and you're low key being high and mighty, you're like, nah, I'm the one who helped people. I'm the one who did. Yeah. But takeaways. Another takeaway that you were saying, like out of the book, and something we can kind of get into. As man becomes spiritually awakened, we recognize that any external inharmony is the correspondence of mental inharmony.
Yeah.
So, tell me, what does that quote? What does that do for you?
Oh man, I think I opened up the segment with it. Life is a mirror. You know, when you have inharmony in yourself, you start to notice the response. I don't want to just use the word life sends back to you. It's the only way I can sum it up. Life sends you back that response. You know, you're cursing people out on the road or in your house or just out because people did you felt like somebody wronged you, and you're just, just give this negative energy towards you. You start to realize you attract those type of people in your life. You know, man, the funniest thing was, and this is so simple, I felt like I stopped getting humped at when I started to just, hey, I send love and blessings. Like, I'm not gonna pass me up, you do this, you do that. Hey, I send love and blessings. Man. I kid you not, I swear it was like I just stopped, people stopped hugging me. I'd be at the light, it would turn green. You know, I might be like on my phone, sending something out, trying to get something done, and it's like, all right, so nobody, okay. You know what I'm saying?
So are you saying that your negative energy was actually attracting negative energy before?
Man, absolutely. Wow. You attract the energy you vibrate to.
So, wow, man, just side note, I saw an Instagram post today. It showed a vibration, you know, with one of those things, you know, one thing you hit and it vibrates.
It's
called
like the
I forgot what it's called. It's not swinging. It's like a little U-shaped thing. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I forgot what it's called, but so they did one. They showed it. You know, it was one at like 400 hertz, one at 500. When you hit the 500, right next to the 400, doesn't make it vibrate, right?
Wow.
But when you hit the 400, right next to the 400, it makes the other one vibrate. Now, without touching it. Yeah. And it just shows you how when you find like-minded, when you find people that you can vibrate with on your same wavelength. Yeah. You know, when you get into relationships, you're trying to vibrate with a higher frequency person than you are, or you're trying to vibrate with a lower frequency person than you are. And you can't control that, you know? Yeah. You just have to realize, like, when something vibrates with you, you actually cherish that. So you probably had that in somebody that didn't fit the mold that you were looking in, right? Yeah. And you just ignored it. Or you went to a job interview, man, everything felt right. I didn't really like that pay though. So you let it go. Yeah. But then you keep quitting jobs because they're not vibrating at your level though. Yeah. So you keep ending up back as a free agent.
Man, we could take that.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I mean though. Like, you know, like, it's when you really start to understand, like, you have to appreciate it because I know you experience it. I know at some point, one of those jobs hit. One of those guys that you were talking to, one of those girls that you were talking to, it really did resonate. Yeah. And you completely ignored it. Yeah. And you wonder why, like, things in my life just don't seem, because you're not, man, look at everything's not vibrating around you at the same frequency you are.
No, but that's huge though, but how okay would you are with letting those other frequencies just fade away? I feel like that's people's things, because you know somebody. See, there's one thing when you put it up as like frequency charts, because it's like, okay, I can see, you know what I'm saying, this and that, but when you know someone and they're not vibrating at your level, that's a different ballgame. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because now you're denying the feeling you have within because of your relationship with that person. And then you watch how that relationship deteriorates other things in your life, because once you let one frequency operate at you, at your level, you gotta let others, because now it becomes a habit. Yeah. Now it's like, yeah, even though I'm up here and I see this and I'm going this way and I'm trying these things, but this other person who's on my same team or maybe in my circle is not vibrating at the same level, but I love that person. Right. You know what I'm saying? Man, right. But we talked about this other day though, man. You gotta appreciating people, or just not knowing where to let go. Failed relationships. Man. And when you talk about that point of vibrating at that level, it reminds me of my coach, Camilla.
No, seriously,
You know
yeah.
what I'm saying?
Mhm.
I remember, first of all, that job was look how people way. You know what I'm saying? Aside from where I was at, you know, like from where I lived at, it's completely out the way. But again, when you talk about that, man, it just feels right. You know what I'm saying? Man, it just feels right. The people, everything just feels right. So, you know, went ahead, pursued it, got the job there, and this was in between, you know what I'm saying, figuring out whatever my next move was gonna be. But then Mother's Day came up. My coach walked in that pizza shop. The only time she's ever walked in there. Coach walks in. I remember how much it just was like it's not an aha moment, but something just feels right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? All of a sudden, so I wasn't the cashier or whatever taking orders, but the cashier was just me and her in there. She's like, I'm gonna just go outside and like have a smoke break. All right, you know what I'm saying? Randomly, but it didn't feel like nothing felt out of place. I felt in flow. You know what I'm saying? Coach walks in, conversation, a couple sentences, a couple questions leads to like a 3-year plus relationship business.
Man.
You know what I'm saying?
Man, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
Man, yeah. And that's how you met your coach.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And it's just like,
and it was just like you said before, you feel the energy before you let it into your presence. You know what I'm saying? Like you feel the and then you begin to pursue that.
man, it's vibrating on your wavelength.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you know.
It was literally and you know, man, because so many people have like different, man, is that like negative kind of trap sort of mindset. But I was like, I'm gonna just say something to kind of relate. And it's like, I think COVID was just about to hit at that time. It just hitting, and it's like, oh, you know, crazy, whatever. Not because I was trying to spew negative, but I was trying to see, is this an actual energy match or is this just something different? And it was like, her response was like, well, you know, yeah, for some people that sucks. For me, it's great.
No.
Okay, I need to know this person.
You're right. No, for real. When you get a response like that, that's just like, you know, like, but like you said, you felt it before it even, you know, and then once you, that one line, it's like, oh yeah, you know, like, like, you know, we got one, coach, you know.